so much, Julie and Don, for such a lovely introduction. And namaskar, greetings to everyone, friends from all over the world. It's my pleasure to be here, for the third time, as Julie said, and it's so encouraging. It's so encouraging. Trust me, I've thoroughly enjoyed all the sessions so far. I have conducted here as a masterclass, and people view it afterwards. As Julie said, some people come online. I just need someone to confirm that you can see my screen.
Yep, can see.
Great, thank you. So let's start with small activity. Some of you are here, those others also can do it. If you have to describe yourself in one word, what would that?
In one word?
Yeah, if you have to describe yourself in one word, what would that be? One word, two word, maybe. Okay, I see chat messages. You can even small group. Fire starter, wow. You are. You are. Grateful, okay. Nice, beautiful.
Puzzled, I would say right now.
Me curious.
Curious, okay. Awesome. I want you to keep all this in mind, Let's see where we are going to use this back, but yes, let's see that. Okay. So welcome to AHA. I hope you will have some AHA moments during this session. And I'm also looking forward for that, and a warm welcome to all of you. So here's a quick what to expect, why this whole appreciation and what is a spectrum. It's just not one thing, it's a spectrum and the different types and the hows and some tips and some benefits and gratitude. So this is a quick overview of what we are going to kind of discuss today. So why do we need it? The deepest craving of every human is the need to get appreciated. I mean, these are realities even science and research have said. And it comes from this whole belief of when you appreciate the good appreciates. We say when you put in some money, it appreciates like that. This is like an investment. You appreciate something and that grows. Whatever you appreciate, that grows. So from that, I said, appreciation helps. Appreciation is the title of today's. And let's see how we can understand different nuances. And why this topic I have chosen. Let me give you a background why this topic is close to me and how did I experience this, the aha moment of appreciation. What you see in the picture is, it's me with one of our great ex-president of India. Okay, that's why the picture, who knows will know, he's the ex-president of India, and had the opportunity to meet him, interact with him, organize one of his event. And during the event, as we started the whole event, it was at one of the B schools, prestigious B schools in India. I was the MC of the event. And as I kickstarted the event, and somebody came and did a formal welcome speech. And it was time for our beloved Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, people's ex-president of India, for him to come to the podium to deliver his talk. And I was just standing there to assist him as an MC. And the moment both of us came and we had that eye-to-eye contact, even before I gathered and wished him, greet him, first thing he told me is, you are doing a good job. It's not about me doing anything, but receiving an appreciation from someone like him. He's just not a president. He was a scientist and everyone loves him, respects him. So the moment I received an appreciation from him, my life changed. My confidence went up. I mean, he's done it multiple times, but just to set the context, I wanted to bring in this first moment where I really, really experienced the power of appreciation. This was way back in 2008. That's where I said, oh my God, if I am feeling so good, my confidence went up and all that, I must continue this practice. So from then, I've been consciously trying to practice it. And also in the professional world, in the part of our leadership, how can we implement this little power of appreciation as a parent, as a leader, and all the other roles we play in life. And one of his quote, it's very evident and very appropriate. Gratitude is important not only because it helps people feel good, but also because it inspires them to do good. Right? And you also feel good when you express, when you receive. The beauty is both the ways it brings in the joy. Whether you're receiving or whether you're giving, there is a joy in it. So what research says about the why part of it, the little pat on the back is so powerful that 64% leave their job because lack of it. Look at the statistics, right? And brain releases all these happy hormones, dopamine and serotonin. This happens through appreciation and gratitude. Easy, free, this free things, it doesn't require even a single dollar or whatever the currency you want to use. It does not require anything, yet it is very powerful. You don't need to invest. It doesn't require much of time, money, none of it, but yet very powerful. And the research also says the people who have regular gratitude practices are healthier, happier, and have better relationships. That much benefit it has. And the gratitude practice is like a workout and a healthy eating plan for your mind. We are all into the physical fitness, but we also need some mental fitness. And here it is, a very easy one compared to physical fitness. And of course, it boosts confidence. Here is one of the recent research which talks about the ranking of non-monetary factors enhancing job satisfaction. So in that, we see the number 5, recognition and praise. These are all non-monetary, what employees expect. And again, the 9th one, experiential reward. You reward them with different experiences. So, it's number 5 and number 9 are also connected to this appreciation. If it is so wonderful, now let's look at how can we actually practice and understand the entire spectrum of it. Okay, this is a spectrum. Now, I would like those of you who are online to start guessing with this emoticon, which looks so good, right? I can see all the smiles. So let's go with the bottommost. My cursor is saying the bottommost. What word comes to you when you look at this? What's the expression?
It's like angry and a put down, you're putting someone down, and anger.
Yeah, criticism. More than the anger, like, you're no good. The thumbs down. So that's the criticism. That's on the other end of the spectrum. What about the next one?
I would say dubious if nobody else is going, you sort of be like, what's the person on about?
Okay.
Doubtful, or, doubting other people.
Context of appreciation. Keep the context of appreciation. Okay.
Yeah, doubting other people.
Oh, sarcasm. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right? Then the next one.
I don't care. Disengagement.
Right? Unnoticed.
Unnoticed.
Yeah, I'm not even looking wherever. I'm not even looking at it. Totally unnoticed.
Totally blank.
No say.
Blank as in
No
nothing.
say.
Nothing.
No say. Yeah, more than the blank, you're seeing it, but you're not acknowledging it. No say.
Yeah.
No, you see it. Wow, that's actually good, but you don't even acknowledge it. Non-acknowledgement. Then the next one.
Yeah, it starts to get better.
Acknowledgement.
Absolutely. From non-acknowledgement to acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we move to
Appreciation. Yeah.
And next is...
Yes, I'm curious about that one.
The aha moment.
The yoo-hoo.
aha moment.
Correct. That's a celebration.
Right.
You get into celebration. So it's so important whether we do intentionally or unintentionally, but look at the, the downside of it and the upside of it. So this is what is the most important for us to look at the whole spectrum, as a leader, as a parent, as a friend, and whatever the different roles we are playing. Sometimes we can be so unnoticed and non-acknowledging. We may not be like criticizing or sarcastic, but highly possible we are in that mid, just for no reason you don't notice. But as a leader, it's important for us to notice. And many of us are coaches here. As a coach, isn't it so important that we coach the leader to see this? We see in them and we help them to see. Because a lot of us, I'm sure we mentor or coach leaders. Some people are so work focused and they forget to do this. And this can lead to a lot of challenges in the organization. Right? So that's something. So this entire spectrum we need to keep in mind and see where. Let's also understand what's the difference between appreciation and celebration. Right? Others, I think, is a little more straightforward to understand. You appreciate and say, hey, good job, awesome, you're this, you're that, well done, etc. Go ahead, Preeti.
So I think appreciation could be done in person also. Celebration is when you actually, edify people is the right word. You edify them in front of other people, and then you're appreciating them in front of, celebrating them, basically one degree higher.
Yeah, you do it in public.
Yes.
Correct. And that's where the joy is even more.
Yes.
That's where you celebrate in public, you appreciate in public. So do that. That's why people wait for this employee award ceremony where you get them on the stage and say, hey, you've done a great job. Here is your award. Here is your reward. All that makes a huge difference. Celebration. Here.
Yeah, and it's sharing it with others, I guess, anyway, isn't it? Sharing, if you say somebody's done a good job and then you write a testimonial, maybe you write a blog on them, maybe, that you're really helping them actually get out there and be seen.
Yeah, sharing out in social media. It could be wherever, in different forums now digitally. And, it could be even a friend achieve something. And you can go right to tell everyone, what, this person got this award. I'm so happy about it. Congratulations. So the celebration can go on and on. Here, I want to share an example of how celebration can be taken to even the next level. Okay, this is a true example of my mentor. He was an employee of CityCarp. Okay. And he got that, Employee of the Year award. And it was a big ceremony and, the gala dinner parties, and then families were invited, a whole huge grand celebration, and he got the award, all that. It was fantastic. 1 year passed and he's sitting at his desk, he gets a call, and that's from his boss. And the boss says, you know what? Do you remember what happened last year at this time? He says, of course I remember. He says, I just remembered that and I wanted to once again congratulate you, appreciate you. One is the immediate appreciation, and appreciating even at a later point it's even more powerful. Same thing, I say, thank you. We normally say immediately thank you. Most of us do that, I think, we're very that way, well-mannered, etiquetted, whatever you want to say. But if you go back and thank after some time, that I had learned this from you. Today I use this. I just wanted to come back and thank you. Or I tried something which I had learned from you. Or, this appreciation and thanking even later point is even more powerful. That's the true celebration. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Now let's look at the types of appreciation. In the beginning, I asked all of you to describe yourself in one word. Right? That's the self-appreciation. Do we appreciate ourselves? Or do we always wait someone else to do it? I know it's good to receive from someone else, but that should not stop us doing for ourselves. Why not? No, why not? So let's do it now. Whoever is online, I want all of you to put your hand up like this. Turn it around and go back and say, good job. Yes. Why not we pat on our back sometimes? I can see the smiles, the joy on all your faces. Whoever is there, I appreciate. The rest of you also can come on the video. It'll be good, whoever is there. But yes, self-appreciation, then appreciating others as a conscious practice. And the third one, any guess there's a third type of appreciation? We do appreciate ourselves, others, and then strangers. There's a lot of joy. Trust me, I've tried it. Of course, you should do with your care and safety measures before you appreciate a stranger. But you should see in the airport or somewhere, you see someone, maybe you like their attire or their hairstyle or their smile or whatever. I'm sure we do take care of the appropriateness, but you just do that. That from nowhere, the joy comes on their face and we smile. And that can build a network. Like last time we had on the networking. So if you remember, those of you who attended, the best way is to break the ice with somebody is to start with appreciation. Then you can introduce I am so and so, and the rest goes on. So appreciation is a very good icebreaker when you want to talk to somebody new, a stranger, or even somebody whom you have heard but you have not interacted. You want to go shake hands in a conference, you meet somebody, you want to go and do that. Start with an appreciation. The whole energy changes. I'm sure they'll be more receptive to what we talk. Yes, Preeti.
Yeah, just one share, if you may allow me. Yeah, so Srividya, you're very, very right. And staying in the US for many years, I think one thing that I learned was that this ice-breaking thing that you just talked about was like how even in Walmart or in people
Very
just
good.
begin with stuff. I like your shirt. I like your lip color, and that's how in India, I mean, that no complaints. I love the country, but we kind of fail to acknowledge and appreciate people who are strangers. But in the Western world, I just really love that how we exchange smiles even on a morning walk, not knowing each other and saying, hi, I just love your shoes. I love this. So it's just a wonderful way to do that. Just wanted to share. Yeah.
It's a good icebreaker to use, irrespective of which part of the world we are all humans and we love this.
Right.
It also shows that we do it less and less because I love doing that. And I actually make a point of doing that when I go out. The cashier behind the desk who's completely frazzled, I'll make a comment on her nail varnish or her earrings or something. But you do notice that there's often first a bit of shock, a bit like, oh my gosh, is she mad? Who is this woman, talking to me about? I once ran behind a lady because she had the sticker sticking out on the back of her dress. Must have been a new dress. And she hadn't taken it off. But I could see the first reaction was also shock. But I was said, you look so gorgeous and you're obviously going to an important meeting. Can I be so bold as to say you've still got your sticker sticking out the rest of the back of your dress? But still, I found it surprising that the first reaction is often a little bit, what does she want from me? And that I find sad. It means that we're not doing it as much as we should. But then there is total gratitude and it's free, right? It's not given because we want anything. It's just given because it's a nice thing to do.
Absolutely. Yes. So there are again types of that, you can be very specific. That's more powerful than being very general. Hey, great job. Well done. That could be very generic. But when you are very specific, it's even more effective, especially in a work context. In general, like strangers and all, you can go with the general appreciation. But there also, like you said, I like your lip color. I like the shirt color. I like the design of this, or something more specific you are. It sounds very genuine. That's where the people will trust you. You're very specific, and whatever. And here, that's where genuinity is very relevant. It has to be relevant, especially when you're in a work professional. It has to be absolutely relevant, explicit, and then timely. Timely appreciation. Then and there, spot them doing right, and then some appreciate. So general versus specific is another perspective we need to consider. When to do what, we will take we do choose, but it's important to keep in mind these perspectives. Right? Then here we go with some tips on how can we do that? What are the different ways to appreciate? I'm sure we know it, but it's sometimes good to, revisit, and maybe something new can be there. If, as an organization, food, food is definitely a nice way to appreciate, just if you can carry something when someone loves that food and you carry it to them on their birthday, you cook and give, or you buy and give, whatever, the food is definitely, as humans, we easily get satisfied with food. Right? It could be a drink or a coffee or whatever. The food is definitely one. Then we can, as organizations, gifts, all kinds of gifts. I remember saying, while saying thank you, you just say, instead of just saying thank you, do some little thank you note, and what is a little gift. I mean, I normally don't necessarily buy gifts for specific occasions. As I'm shopping, I see something, I remember someone, I go and buy it and give it to them. I said, I saw this and I thought of you, and I think this is a gift. So you not necessarily, because then you're really genuine, right? For the occasions we normally go and buy, hey, it's birthday, you have to, like more than you have to, but you want to do it as a formality. So I do more on these, when I see something. So that's a nice kind of appreciation. Words, obviously, we have done. And as leaders, some of us professionally, giving somebody a learning opportunity is a form of appreciation. I want to nominate you for this learning. That means I've done a good job and I'm getting appreciated. That rewards in the form of experience, and then star, there are different ways of star system, right? The star of the month, you put them on the wall of fame. There are so many ways. The touch is definitely, patting on the back or shake hand, whatever is appropriate culturally. To the, whichever region we are, whatever is culturally appropriate, keeping that in mind, a touch is definitely a very powerful appreciation. And then time. In fact, if you give someone time, that's a form of appreciation. I just want to come and spend time with you. I just want to be with you when you're in the happy or the sad or a challenging moment. I just want to be with you. And giving time is a form of appreciation. And handwritten letters, not the printed cards we buy, but handwritten letters are very, very powerful. I'm sure now if we go back and clean, we would have some of those letters we have received way back, or even the greeting cards where we had written something on the hand, somebody, that is more valued than the digital form, wherever possible, the handwritten, expressing ourselves, thanking them or appreciating them. Gamification, that could be, that is today's trend, is all the gamification. So you can tell students or the employees you do, and you keep earning points. Every action of this, you earn whatever the number of points. And when you accumulate X amount of points, you can go and exchange it with something. So there are many ways of gamification, which can be applied for even appreciation. That's a trend. So we need to also go with the trend of what's happening. And there could be many more, but just a quick few to remember how we do. And sharing, as we already discussed, in going and sharing across, telling about people what others have done, appreciating in public, or sharing in wherever you want to share. That's a very powerful.
Srividya, can I just ask you about the gamification? So are you meaning that, like with our clients, that we would then have a point system? How exactly would we implement that?
Yeah, as coaches, you made, I'm not sure how much you want to do with your client as an individual, but if they are the leaders, as leaders for the employees, it works better. It works well with the students. You tell them every act of something, you will earn some points. Okay. Let's say you complete the project on time, you get certain points, or you get a client appreciation, then you get certain points. Like that, there are various things happens. So
how is that different from the star?
Star is you just give one time reward. Okay. This is like, it's accumulative points. Once let's say you accumulate 100 points, then you can go and exchange with something, you get something. After not with 1 point, every point you don't get something. Accumulation of like 50 points, you get something. 100 points, you get something. then you
Okay.
become a star.
Thank you.
You see that? Yeah. And then acts of service, any kind act of service will be an appreciation. Whoever needs at one point of time in form of sharing a knowledge or, whatever they need, that will be awesome. Another point we need to keep in mind here is not everyone appreciates your type of appreciation. So personalization is very important, especially as leaders in the organization. You need to be a little more sensitive to what would your team appreciate. What form of appreciation would they appreciate? Because again, with the look at the diversity of age, youngsters will like something gamification, but you give it to the senior leaders, they may not appreciate this gamification. So it's important we personalize it and customize it to whom what kind of appreciation works well. If culturally somebody is not okay with the touch and you go and give them a hug and say, hey, congratulations, it may not work well. Or somebody who likes it and you just say orally without even shaking hands, it may go other way around. So it's important to keep in that mind, being sensitive, thoughtful to what would they like. That's where the personalization or customization is important. This we may forget. We love, I learned so much, I'm going to go and apply. Yes, apply, but be watchful, be sensitive to the receiver.
Yes, that's also a sign of appreciation, isn't it? To accept that cultural differences maybe, or personality differences, some like the up close and personal, and others, would feel more appreciated if you did it in a different way.
Yeah, because different, you have the Gen Zs and then all that different generations. So each one would expect a different kind. So being sensitive, that also is a appreciation. You respect them, right? You respect them. Awesome. This is one story called a Babembo story, where if somebody in that village, it's a community of tribal community, if somebody does something wrong, that person is taken and kind of tied to the pole in the center, if you see in the image. Okay. And then everyone gathers around that person. And what they do? Normally, we would think they would beat him up and, whatever. But on the contrary, they start telling all the good deeds of that person has done. All the good deeds that person has done, they say it so much, and the person has no choice but to become good. Look at this power of appreciation. That's the story of this, the image. Then after they do it for quite some time, and then the person realizes, then there is a lot of celebration in the form of dance. They celebrate saying, okay, there is a new, and they bring him back to the community, bring that person back to the community. So look at the kind of practice. They forgive. Forgiveness can be done through appreciation.
That is so powerful. You would expect him to be shamed, in some countries, you have to stand up, or even like imagine at school, you've done something wrong, and in France you're sent to the corner, or in the old days you had to wear a dunce's hat, for the person who done something wrong. And what does that do? But it inserts this spiral of negative thoughts, of then self-depreciation, etc. That's actually a very beautiful example that they then help that person get back into the positive by appreciating all their good stuff. That's gorgeous.
In fact, I'm sure it might be in all the countries, but definitely in India, earlier the kings were there. The king system was there. When the king walked in, we had some people as designated as praisers to the king. They would just say, this king is so good, he's done this, done that, all that. They would go on and on as he walks in. I was wondering, why would they do? Because they want the king not to deviate from that. You see that what you listen every day will go in.
Yes.
Like if you
keep on saying, lovely.
You're great. You have no choice but to be great.
Right, we all need a bit of that around. Maybe we should start a group where we all, claim every morning we wake up to somebody shouting something wonderful to us. We should start a group, right?
I am ready for it. WhatsApp group, Telegram group, whatever the group. Let's start. Why not? That's a great idea. So that's where all the kings were praised so much, and you had people whose job is only to praise. They were paid to do that. And then I was wondering, then I studied this and I said, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
Keep them in. Don't go out of the way. Don't do anything wrong. Your responsibility is to take care of the people. So you say you're a great this, you're great at it, you're good at it. They just go on singing. Praise the Lord, like that. So while I know a different culture, it's a little more receptive, but internally, I have seen this is a human tendency, and I see a little more women on the video. I'm saying it's a little more with the women also. So what's your response when someone appreciates, admires you? Honestly, what's your inner response? What you say outside is different. What's your inner response?
I think, thank you. I just take it with grace. Love it.
That's what we need to do. But there are some people who find it very difficult to receive.
I totally agree. Who will sort of immediately say, oh, I bought this secondhand in God knows where. That's what my mother will do. If I say, what a lovely dress, she has to justify straight away. She hasn't spent a lot of money. Oh, I bought that at the market, or it was secondhand.
This is something very old.
Yeah.
This one old, something. Yeah, Preeti.
Yeah, and another thing is, what Judy said is exactly right. We don't receive the compliments, we kind of justify and give some explanation, but also at the same time, we sometimes want to give back the compliment. Oh, you're also looking nice. Oh, you're dressed.
Somewhere you're shifting it. Preeti, absolutely right. What are we trying to do? I'm not receiving it. Why are you saying you're also? That means I am, I'm discounting myself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Many times I have seen a lot of people doing that. Just don't know how to. We all crave for appreciation. We want these admirations, but yet somewhere we find it difficult to receive. We start looking all
Totally
over.
agree.
Where can I hide myself? Or
Yeah.
no, you are so good at it.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's very
what
true.
we're doing? Actually, we are discounting the other person. It doesn't matter whether this is old, new. How does it matter? Like, Julie likes it, Julie likes it.
Mm.
Period. So I just have to say thank you. Like, how do I, Julia? How do I pronounce your name? Sorry.
Oh, me?
No.
Julia.
No. Oh, yes, Julia. Yeah.
So, like Julia said, gracefully just say thank you, because you're respecting the other person's taste, whatever it is. But if you start discounting it, it's actually a disrespect to other person. We don't even look at it.
And to ourselves.
To ourselves, though, 100%.
We're putting ourselves down a little bit. We always feel like, oh, no, not really. And no, I've put on weight. And I've got loads of makeup on. If somebody says, oh, you look lovely. Yeah, well, I'm plastered in makeup. Instead of saying, oh, thank you. We do then hide. I don't know really why. I think women are worse than that, than men. Would you say?
Relatively,
Yeah.
but even not every man is comfortable receiving all the compliments. Or sometimes they go the other way around. Or, some, again, I don't want to be in the bias, but little observation, I said, I always.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know.
Yes, I know I'm smart. Yes, I know I'm good. They could go on the other side. I mean, anybody, irrespective of the gender, but somewhere you're not in that present. You're shifting.
But also one thing which is a little bit sad is that, I mean, I live in Holland, so less so here, but say I know in the States, there is very much that fear of, sexual harassment or whatsoever, where men now do think twice before saying to a woman, you look good, because before you know it, you have a lawsuit because you've been, and that I find very unhealthy, let's say.
Yeah.
I think we should be able to say to the opposite sex that you look good without meaning that you want to jump into bed with them or whatever, Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Things to appreciate. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, they become so cautious about it now with the law all around. You don't know what is.
This is insane. Well, anyways, I had another story because we went to America and we didn't know with my husband, and the tour guide said, don't pat on any child's head or forehead or something, because we are Turkish, right? We get right with the Turkish group. We are Middle East. When we see a little,
Yeah.
it gets immediately in the lawsuit. You will be in court in a second. They will judge you, etc. And we were like, okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's a cute.
Strange,
Maybe
yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
No, we don't do this anymore. This is insane. They're
Mm.
crazy. They're psychopaths.
Sad though, isn't it?
Personalization, being sensitive, what works for the other person is also important to just, just not go and appreciate, but be aware of.
But again, it's cultural, right? It's cultural. So we can't judge that either, right? I mean, US is the US. A lot of things happens. They have their rights as well. Middle East is Middle East, different culture. European is different. India is different. So we embrace everything. We adopt. What can we do?
That's it. Just be aware of it. That's all.
Yes.
That's all we need to do. Being sensitive is all we need. So as I said, receive gracefully. I think from now onwards, remember, anybody appreciates, just say thank you. Because you are acknowledging their whatever, their opinion, their viewpoint, their perspective. It's not about you. Don't pass it back to the other person, or don't say, yeah, I'm always, or, just say thank you. That's it. Nothing to deviate. Just be in that moment. So different benefits, enhance the well-being, deeper relationships. Like now, suddenly I feel more connected with all of you now. Though we didn't know each other, the whole talking about appreciation has already feel a little more connected, isn't it? The deeper relationships, improved optimism, physical and mental health, neurological, everything, happiness, overall, it's free, the most important, and no time also. We don't have money and time. It is not required to appreciate. Neither you need time nor money. Stronger self-control. Yeah. And then highest order of appreciation is gratitude. I'm sure all of us are aware of it. It's just to trying again, bringing it in. How often are we practicing this? The gratitude, it gives you all the very best things in life. The more we practice gratitude, you become calmer, you become more peaceful, all the good things with the gratitude, right? So we have little time for question answers, again, depending on that. But now that I have spoken, so let me just say thank you first for all of you for listening to this, the power of appreciation, and my gratitude to all of you for making the session so enriching with your participation, right? So I'm going to stop sharing and let's have a quick, I guess I've kept on time, though we started late. But
yes, don't worry. Don't worry about the time. And before we go into the questions, let me then automatically, but from the depth of my heart, say thank you to you, because not only do you deliver the content, like you said, etc., but you always give a part of you, and it's always very human and very much. We feel very connected, and we feel your love and your desire to help us access that too, to have better lives, let's say, and help our clients too. And for that, I am deeply grateful. I'm grateful to all our speakers. You do always add in your very personal touch. And I think that's invaluable, as in it's just so precious. So thank you, Sri.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pradeep, for your kind words. I'm seeing the chat messages also as coming in. Yeah, whoever we have.
Does anyone have any questions? Anything that you would like clarification on, or a bit depth? I mean, why do we not do this instinctively?
I have something to share. It's not a question, but I would like to just add to what Sri has just presented. Today, because, she is, and we are in one of the groups, a common group, so we share that in one of the groups that I am part of, and somebody really shared a beautiful thing. We're talking a lot about gratitude and these things these days, but today somebody shared a beautiful video, and I wanted to just share a little thing from there. Is that,
does that work? Let's see if that works.
We talk about
she's sharing orally. She doesn't have.
No, I'm sharing.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry. Okay.
Orally, yeah, just 1 minute share. Is that people say that in the morning you should start with a gratitude practice, or say things whatever you're grateful for in your own, with your own self, right? Or write a gratitude journal. And what it beautifully said something different. It said that instead of just writing as a journal, or saying it morning just to yourself that you're grateful for your family, you're grateful for this house, this, that. But this is all for your own healing, or this is for good for that purpose. But it becomes incrementally more meaningful when you actually go to people and tell them that I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful, instead of, just saying it to yourself. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my son, my family. Just going up to them and saying it is much more impactful, because you are actually, the gratitude multifold, it increases the effect on you and to the other person. And I really loved it, that how many times we actually go. Sometimes we do, but how many times we make it a point that I have done my gratitude practice and we are like, okay, I'm very happy. I've done it. I'm very grateful, for so many things. But going up to that person is probably not in our list.
Nidhi, thanks for sharing. And to add to that is, some of the workshops, these are only the trailers, what we do here.
Yeah.
Actually, I do a 3-hour workshop on this.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. No, because it is exactly that. And I think even if you're not in the locality, I think a lot of us have our networks all over the world, or I have even my family and my friends all over the world. But even if it is digital, though, it's just out of not a birthday, not a whatsoever, to just wake up and say, hey, I was just thinking of you, and thank you for still being my friend after so many years, or something like that. I mean, it has so much impact. You're right, Preeti. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
in
take
the
it for
workshop, I
granted.
actually do a process of appreciation. I do a crowning ceremonies with lots of props. So that's what I was trying to say. And if we go in depth, a lot of ways. This is just a trailer, with this go in depth in the full-fledged, 3-4 hours of workshop, or especially organizations, how can they actually practice? So this is only a trailer. And as I said, reach out for any, we might come up with something through this coaching organization, or even otherwise reach out to me for specific workshops for the organizations. We will definitely do that. By
all means. Julia, you were trying to say something? Sorry.
No, I wanted to say we always take for granted the people around us, specifically our partners, whatever partner it is that you're living with, your children. You always tend to criticize. That's what you think is parenthood, because I give as well parents workshop, right? So Parents Academy. And it's one great part. It's about appreciating your children. And then it's so important. Why? Because last year my husband passed away. And, okay, although we appreciated each other, sometimes I think we should have verbalized it even more.
Yes.
And life is not for granted. What we live is not for granted. So any opportunity where we thank people, where we embrace them, whatever relationship you have, is valuable.
So true, Julia. So true.
Done on that, the lot of research done on that. They say people who, what was your last wish? They say, I wish I had said thank you to some people,
Right. And it's true, it's often those the closest to us that we then assume that they would know how much we love them. Whereas indeed, what we vocalize more often is usually when we are not happy with them, or when we wish they'd done something differently or whatsoever. So it's just to also remember to say, I love you, and thank you for being here. And, just I'm happy with you. I mean, gosh, there's so many things that can spontaneously come up, but we do, especially I think today in this really crazy world, we're so tired. And, if you go from the principle that both partners, let's say, are working, by the time you actually get together, you're both exhausted by all the demands of the rest of the world, and that you then don't give each other the best of each other, and that you forget to say those things. So I think that's very, very simple way of appreciating.
A very senior mentor, he says,
thank you very much. I need to leave now. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
He says every day he appreciates his wife for the food she cooks.
Yes.
And he says, I'm not just saying every day it's nice, but he says, I'm like in a conversation and say, I think the salt is very right today in this. Or
right, very specific.
Saying, hey, very good, thank you, amazing. You won't get it, but he finds some way to make it very genuine. And he says, I think today the softness of this is very good, or it's so crispy, or whatever that.
Oh, lovely.
Is so important.
So Srividya, I mean, once again, I will add here, and being a relationship coach, I do it all the time. I have a whole list of things that the spouses can say to, their partners, and because sometimes people choose what you said, right? When we talk about appreciation, we are very, very generic sometimes. Oh, food is good, khana acha hai, food is good. But that doesn't really make the person, because you get used to listening to that every day, then it is no fun. So if you can be more specific, so it's a beautiful exercise that I do in my relationship workshop, which is like about ways to compliment your spouse,
This also shows you're listening, right? So it also shows you're being really aware, right? That it's not just something that you're really aware of what specifically it was that you appreciate, and then that other person feels seen, or feels heard, or feels, then tasted, that their food has been delighted. Well, look, thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, Jayashree. I mean, they have put some messages saying they thoroughly enjoyed.
Yes, please do. And we'll send them to you, Shri, so you can keep them as well. All the chat message. I've enjoyed these very much, Shri. I do hope, even though this is the last of our series of 3 for the IAPC&M.
I still have the next year. Dawn is
great. Great. Well, fantastic to know. Thank you to all of you indeed for having participated and shared your testimonials, or indeed your tips, like you did, Preeti, as well. And look forward to having you with us again some other point. Take care. Have a lovely day full of appreciation and gratitude.
Yeah, thanks, Shri. Thank you, Julie. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Preeti, for joining in. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.